Shall I tell you what my number one is?
Yeah, go for it.
Number one, and it's the first one in a series of films. And again, I've not seen them all. I've probably seen 3 or 4, maybe max.
Yeah.
And again, it's up there because of the twistedness of it. And I mentioned it earlier, but the first Saw movie.
Yeah.
You said you haven't seen it.
I haven't seen any of those.
Is there a reason why you haven't seen them?
I just didn't. There wasn't. I think. Do you know what though? I think it was because when I first saw them come out, there was such a focus on a bloke being chained up, cutting his own arm off, or whatever it was that happens. That I probably wrongly just put it in the. Oh, and that's just some gory film, and I didn't watch it for that reason. But I think I have seen bits of it, since then, and there's a lot more to it.
There is a story behind it, and that's the thing. I think for me, it's and the bit you mentioned, that's probably why the first one, it basically starts with this guy waking up in it's like a bathroom almost like I don't know, in some sort of building, not a bathroom in a house, but in a building of some sort, and he's chained up to the pipe, like the piping system that's going around in this bathroom, and there's a saw in there, but then someone else is in the room as well, and that he basically comes to, like, trying to get out, screaming for help, blah blah. There's a tape in there that they play, and there's this creepy kind of voice telling them why they've been there, and it's a punishment for these people, and that's the theme kind of throughout. The people that Jigsaw, who is the perpetrator of it all, the guy behind it, he's targeting all these people, and the reason why he's targeting them is not because they've done anything wrong, it's because they don't appreciate life. So it's kind of a twist on it. It's not like he's punishing them for killing someone. He's punishing them because they've done something in life that means they're not worthy of it, or they're trying to give it up anyway. So, and Matt, how squeamish I am about kind of the smallest cuts and blood, things like that. And seeing this guy have to like saw through his ankle to be able to get this it was proper like grim for me. But the bigger thing for me in this is, and why it probably stuck with me, is because all these kind of punishments are to test the people that are being punished. So they can technically get out of these situations, like that guy who's been chained up. I mean, that's pretty basic. But there's other ones where it's essentially giving something up, like that guy had to give up his foot and sawed it off. There's so many others that are a hell of a lot worse than that, but it kind of made me question at the time. I remember speaking to my wife about it and friends, and you just go, how has someone thought of this?
Yeah, exactly.
It's disturbing.
Yeah.
But it's gripping at the same time. You're kind of watching with one hand over your face and two fingers open, just so you can see what's still going to happen, even though it's so cringe. I think they must be up to 8 or 9 now. I remember there was a Saw 3D that they brought out, which you could go to the cinema, and obviously you probably have chains swinging towards you and things like that. But it was like the kind of how real it made it look, like with people. I remember there was one where it was essentially like ripping the skin off your arm and things like that. It's proper like grim. But at the same time, that was what you signed up for when you went and watched it. Exactly. You knew exactly what. And every Halloween there was another one that come out. And I think certainly from my side, I've probably missed, and I'm sure we might touch upon this at the end, but missed a lot of other really good horror films that I've seen. But that one for me, just because of how gross and disturbing it was for me. What's your number one?
My number one is a film I love for a film. Rather than it being a horror film, I think it's sort of almost like,
if you come out with something that is not horror at all,
it transcends that. A Bug's Life.
Well, man.
No, it's The Shining, which is such an incredible film. In fact, it's like done by Stanley Kubrick, and it's got Jack Nicholson and all these amazing actors in it. But it is still a horror film in its theme, and it's about a guy who's trying to be a writer. He's a recovering alcoholic. Him and his family sort of have this second chance of going to this really remote hotel to look after it. But it turns out, they gradually find out that the previous caretaker went crazy and sort of killed his family. But their son Danny has how the title fits in, has this ability, this psychic ability called the Shining, which allows him to see essentially what's happened in the hotel, and it's just amazing, like the way that Jack Nicholson's character gradually goes mad, and that's the only way to. He just gradually sort of starts losing it, and the scenes where he's going into the ballroom and talking to the barman who doesn't exist, but he has been the barman there all the time, and those sort of things, and this where Danny's going on his little bike down the sort of corridors, and you're seeing sort of just like his view in the corridors, and he's met by the twins and like the blood coming through the elevator doors.
It's one of the all-time greats, though, isn't it, for a thriller horror film? Like it's one everyone always knows, has always seen. I've seen it. It's just an absolute classic.
Yeah.
On that genre, and again,
yeah.
Jack Nicholson. I can't even remember how old he was there. I
don't know. It's quite late in his career.
Yeah.
So it was made in 1980, so it's quite an old film, and he was born in 1937.
Yeah,
so
he would have been 50 odd something.
Yeah. No, he's now 43.
Oh God! So there you go.
He would have been 43, wouldn't he?
But it was a great. It's one of the. What I like about it is a film. You've got the "Here's Johnny" line, and if you can associate a line with a film, and it's so iconic, and memorable, it's the same as the
and
like
just
you mentioned with Scream, with Cindy in the call. Is Cindy at the beginning, isn't it? Who he calls? Is her name Cindy? Hello, Cindy. I've probably got that wrong, but
let's call her Cindy.
Yeah,
I've got the page up. Casey is what she's called.
Who Drew Barrymore?
Yeah. High school student Casey Becker receives a flirty phone call from an unknown person.
Maybe I'm thinking of the Scary Movie.
Scary Movie. Maybe you're thinking that one. Yeah.
But yeah, like we said, if there's a line that goes with it that's memorable and iconic, I mean, it's just a great film.